Hi there, and welcome to Operants, probably the easiest building information platform your team will ever use. Today I'm going to give you a quick description of how to create data templates within the platform. Now, this is a really useful feature for such things as creating building user guides, building logbooks, any type of document you would associate with the handover of a building, and pretty much anything else you can think of too. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen and I'll show you how it works. So if I, usual thing, as we're all used to now, go to share my page. Here we go. Right. So as we can see, if I go to the main platform, you'll see our usual layout. Now over on the left hand side here, you'll see the file for data library. If I click on data library, here you'll start seeing a lot of publicly shared data templates that have already been created within the system. Now I'm going to pick one that I've been working on here. So this is the building user guide for a contractor working on Ministry of Justice projects, for some prison projects in particular. Not that that really matters. But here we'll see what we're doing here is I've been adding all the contents down here. So a usual index that you would possibly see in any document. And then within that, I'm stating what information needs to be added into the document for the client at handover. Within here as well, I can also add the classifications and state what the facility, what part of the building this template is relevant to. In this particular instance, it's relevant to the facility as a whole, of course. So if I go to edit this particular data template, what you'll see is I can change the name of the document. I can provide a description of the document as well. I can change to say what it's relevant to. And here you'll see the split between what I would call the Kirby elements. So the facility, floors, system, space, package, etc. What we're doing here is we can add in more classifications should we want to, and we can type in different classifications that will come up with different examples, etc., etc. That makes the document easier to find within our system, and it actually stores against what it's relevant to, which is really important. So what we're saying here is we've added in the different property sets. So those are the contents, if you like, the different descriptions of the information. So for instance, I've just been working on chapter 5, building environment and controls. So within here, I can now edit this. So the actual property cell itself, I've created with this name. It is part of the building logbook. And then I've given it a description for this particular part of information. I confirm that, and then that stores. Now, the reason we give it this tag for, if I just go back there again, so the manual categories, the building logbook, again, is so that we can search for that information and make sure it's placed in the right place. It's really important to have a nice, tidy data schema. So within here, we have now the different, what we call the properties. So the properties within the property set. So the building environment and controls is the property set. Within there, what we need to do is provide information as required by the client. Now, if I just add in a new property set, I come from down here, I create a new property, which could be, let's look back at my example. It could be building access controls, for instance, or it could be, let's find time schedules. So if we now put in there, heating system time schedules, we select the type. Now, what type of information are you asking for? We're going to say text in this particular example. Is it required? Now, this is whether the client absolutely must have this information or if it's just optional. More times than not, if it's information that's within the building user guide, it is required. So that's what we choose. And then we can also give a bit of a description there, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory. What time? but let's say times in which the heating system is active and inactive. We confirm, and that's added the data set, the property set, sorry. Now with that property set in place, we can save those changes. Now we have the makings of a building user guide, and we continue and keep adding more information as required. And then once that's been then allocated to a project within the system, simply assign that to the person that needs to provide the information within those individual boxes, and hey presto, you get your building user guide built remotely by your wider team and then available for handover at the end. And that's it. If you want to know any more, give us a call or send me an email at scott@operans.app, and I'll be happy to talk through in more detail. Thanks very much. Bye now.